Welcome! Today in our colony, we're going to be making some waterfalls. Right now, our water goes very horizontally, but we're going to make it flow vertically quite a bit more. We're going to come down, we're going to get a waterfall to fill up this area, and I'd like to connect it over here so that we can maybe get some water here, and I want to get some here, and it'll go all the way down to here eventually. But we're going to have to start with a little work first. Now that we've got our elevator in, we need to come down here and we need to clear a path. So let's put that path in real quick. We're just going to start with, let's see, we want to remove trees. Let's get things out of our way. We'll remove a row of two. That should be fine. Let's do that. We'll remove those as well. And we'll get set up. We'll get some stairs here. There's some stairs. Plus, it'll give us access to this metal down here. There we go. We've got some beavers down here already working on it. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Got those. We need to change the map around here so that we can see the other side. We need stairs. You gotta have stairs. I could just bridge across here, but the stairs are so much easier. They take probably a little more resources, but we still have to get rid of this tree anyway. So we'll come across here, and actually, you know what? We'll just avoid that tree. We could easily avoid the tree. There we go. And then here, we'll avoid this tree too. And there we go. Now we can come all the way back up over here. And really the first thing we have to do is make sure that we're just not going to spill a whole bunch of water out onto the lower levels. That's where our industry is. And industry generally doesn't like being doused with water. Some industry might, not this industry. So we're just going to come over here and we're going to add sluices that will let us regulate the height over there. So once we add those in, there we go. Get a couple of sluices there. We can come around and this water is going to fall down to this level. So we just take the depth here and we can move it down. The real trick is, though, we'll have to add sluices in all the way down here just so we keep the right water levels. We're also going to need to make sure that we can get all of the water over here so that it can get to this lake. So let's plan on that. We'll come out and around these trees. We can probably harvest all of these trees too, just so that we have a little bit of extra lumber to get us started in this area. A few extra resources couldn't hurt, right? Go ahead and mark the tree cutting area. There we go. We'll do all of that, and we'll do all of this. There we go. And did I forget to... Yep, I even forgot to put a path in here, but that's okay. They should be just fine. Dynamite-wise, we just need maybe a path of one here. Come straight across there. We'll have to wait until they get rid of those trees. In fact, we might just mark them to speed up the process, so that we don't have to wait, we can put in some more dynamite. Now that we're down here, though, we need to go ahead and come up from the other direction. So shouldn't be too terribly difficult. Let's... Oh, if I can make a continuous path, that would make it much easier, wouldn't it? There we go. Let's get you out and around here. We'll go ahead and make sure that we can get up there. This map can be really tough. It hides things really well around here. Let's make sure, you know what, we'll put in one set of stairs there, and then see if we can get another set in here. Let's do that, and that, and that, and that. And then we've got, do we have a full path up? Almost. If I do this, we'll have a full path up. There we go. No, we won't. So you know what? We're just going to bend the rules a little bit. I guess it's not against the rules, because mods are fully allowed here. We'll do this. There we go. And once we get these trees cut down, they'll be able to take care of that. We'll do the same thing we did over at the other area, though, and just mark the trees for demolition, just in case they decide that they don't actually want to get any of those done. They're working fast on this. They've already got the stairs up there. So let's go ahead and plan for this area. How about we do a couple of ladders up this way so we can start at the top. It's always best to start at the top when you're working on gravity-related projects. There we go. And if we grab a spiral staircase, we might even be able to get on top of those. There we go. We'll do that. And then once those are built, we will... Let's make sure this one gets built first so that we don't miss it. Although missing that one wouldn't really mean too much, because the important items here are the sluices. So let's get those in. We'll get the one in here that we're going to need. We're going to have to take out this tree, though, because we're going to have to put sluices here, and it won't like that. Well, maybe. No, we're going to have to put a sluice where that tree is at. So let's go ahead and say, you're done for. You've got to go. There we go. And then we can build a path up and around so that they can get to all of this. While they work on our stuff from below, I want to launch a rescue mission to get all of these resources. There's a ton of planks down here that really could use picked up. So the first thing we gotta have is we have to have more storage to store all of them. Of course, to do that, we could make some larger storage, but I think we're just going to make it right on top of this. So we'll just do this, and we'll grab our storage in here, and we'll put all those planks here. Hopefully it turns out to be a temporary thing, but you never know. We could just decide at the end of the day that we're just going to stack a whole bunch of planks in small storages, just in case we ever need them for the industry that should eventually appear here. Speaking of which, I've just noticed, look at this. These guys aren't building this because they can't get to this right here. I think we're going to have to grab some steps and get them a path down there. There we go. That ought to at least get them down there. And why is so much of this stuff dead? We're going to have to fix that here for just a second. So let's take a quick sidebar. We'll come in here and fix a problem that we probably already should have fixed. Let's go ahead and we'll just grab the contamination barriers here. We'll do that. What's the difference? Yeah, we'll do the contamination barriers. Yep. Put them on the corners here, and there might be a little bit of escape of bad water. But hopefully, for the most part, it cuts down on some of the area that is corrupted by the bad water. Would you look at that? They've already got the first step done here. They've got our dynamite in. We're going to have to put in a couple more dynamite, I believe. Let's go ahead, do this. That should connect those in. There we go. And then, you know what? We're just going to put something like that in here. And we can come over. Can we come over from here? Get to that location? Well, we could if that giant tree weren't in the way. So we're going to take care of that too. And we're going to have to come this way and just work our way through this little canal until we get over here, which it looks like that's already set up. So we just need a sluice there. If we can get our sluice there, we can set the height, grab that, we come on down, and we say, all right, you're going to pour out there. That's perfectly fine. We'll have to get down here somewhere and probably explode some of this stuff, as well as block off this little lake. So we're going to have to continue our elevator on, I think. Let's take out this here. We'll say that's high priority so they can get that done. Notice I've been watching our beavers here. I've noticed a slight issue that we might have in the upper section here. We've only got 4 builder beavers. And they're trying to do everything. They're trying to pick up our lake for us. They're trying to make the tunnels for us. They're trying to remove trees, add dynamite, build everything on just 4 beavers. So I think we're going to give them a little bit of a hand. luckily, with all of the bots that we've made down below, we are able to spare a couple of extra beavers here and there for some nice building sections. Here we go, which hopefully will speed us up. We'll put those in here. Yep, that looks good. We'll say that all of those are the highest priority because the faster we get to those in, the better. Now let's go ahead and make sure we grab the people that we're going to need for that. So we have, let's see, 25 extra here. So let's just assign 20 more beavers for now. Nope, not 20 total. I want to be able to math here. There we go. The math is taken care of for the moment. Hopefully they are able to come up here, and we'll take a look and even out the population as we go. With the extra help, they're able to get down here much easier. So we're going to do that. Are they just going around the tree? The first? Usually they get stuck on that kind of stuff. But we can take out this dynamite. That'll attach us in here. We'll go ahead and tell them to put in these all the way across, and then we need to find out where the water needs to come down. So if we use our nice XYZ coordinate mod that we have up there, it looks like 3216 is where they'll be at. So we need to go up to the upper level and go to 3216, which should be, oh, it's under the house here. Right. So if we make a hole at 3216, we're going to have to get rid of this. Beavers are going to be homeless, but there's a couple of beavers up here that are already homeless, so I'm not too worried about it. We'll make them some new homes, something nice and fancy once we get this all done. But if this is, that's 3217, let's go ahead and dynamite that out. And then once that's out of there, let's go ahead and make sure that we can get our tunnel in there. That we'll do tunnel. There we go. They've got the dynamite there. Let's say that tunnel is a little bit more important. There we go. And then we quickly have to put in a sluice here. Oh, no, wait. We have to actually make the hole to go down, don't we? That would have been a slight mistake. So let's go ahead and we'll say take this out of here. We'll do this in here. We'll say that's super important, and then we'll make a sluice there. That should give us the ability to drop the water through this hole right here, just as we need it. Let's go explode, and then quickly do this, and make that so that we don't bottom out our water on this. There we go. That turned out pretty nice. Now we just have to set it to the right height, which should not be that difficult. If we just come down here, we can see the little, there's the little bitty blue. We don't want 0. We want some water in there, don't we? Let's go with a, how about a 65? That sounds good. So this should fill until 65. However, I think we're going to need to adjust this sluice too. So let's go ahead and we'll just close you for now. And, oh look, they've got all of this section done. Well, look at you guys being productive. Let's get all this out of here. We're going to put in another terrain block here. There we go. That's fine. We'll get the sluice in here. And then, actually, that still needs to be connected because we'll have to put the other sluice in there once that's done. Shouldn't take them too long, though. Once they wake up, we should be okay. Oh, we've got a red surge. We haven't had one of those in quite a while. Let's see, are we losing? We're not losing much over here. So there we go. That all looks solid. Let's go ahead and get the big dynamite over here as well. So we'll explode this, say that's fairly important, and then we can build a ladder to come down here. We've got our tunnels dug under here, so hopefully that keeps the land a little more irrigated. I don't know if it'll work for all of it, but we'll find that out. But now that they've got that done, we can start building back over the top. Let's go ahead and we'll just build out dirt until it won't let us build out anymore, and then we'll put in some supports and then keep moving from there. There we go. It looks like they want supports. Probably about here. Should be fine. Will they let us... Let's take off the very edge here so that they'll be able to do that. Maybe. If we can get this stuff out of the way. We've got too much stuff on the ground. There we go. That should let us build those. In fact, let's even take these out. We've got our sluices in here, so we've got mini waterfalls to go with our big waterfalls. We just need to set those up so that they're all the right height here. Let's go 70, 65, somewhere in there. Should keep it fairly well moisturized without having to worry about using too much water. So that should take care of all those. We do need to close up this gap, though. Right now, there's a huge gap that needs to go. But if we're going to take water out, we're going to have to build around that. So let's go ahead. We'll get some dynamite here. Let's put in a a rain block there. And then what we'll do is we'll put in a sluice that hopefully we can use to regulate the water height here. We'll do this and then this. And once this is in, we'll say this stays at a, downstream depth of 50. And, we're going to have to add probably one here if we're going to take that straight down this way. There we go. Once this is in, though, we should be able to open up some of those top layers. We've already got some up here. This is full, so this is all green now. Looking great there. We've got our dynamite in. Let's go ahead and make that dissolve. There we go. We'll put it next to it. Could I connect it directly? Yeah, sure. But this gives it like its own elevator type feature. I think that will work just fine. We'll take out all of these, and then we will need to get from the elevator back up. So let's go ahead and we'll put in that. That should do it for there. Let's go ahead and put in the stuff that we're going to need here. We'll match that level. We'll come up and over here. There we go. Already got that in. They are super busy today. There we go. Get those in there. We'll come through from the bottom here. That. We'll get a sluice in here. Let's put you about there. We'll fill the rest in with dirt. That should be fine. Over here, I would like this filled in with dirt. If we want another waterfall there, we'll take care of that later. We'll get a sluice. There we go. Sluice, sluice. We're just going to sluice everything today. That should fill up most of this. Once that's done, it'll fill up that, all this, this down here, and up to about there. Should get all the water that we've got whenever they finally finish getting that in there. Fill that down there without, you know what? I'm not going to ask. Maybe it's a beaver's builder's secret on how they got that all in there. The waterfalls are really starting to go in beautifully, and hopefully here in just a minute we'll be able to finish all of that. I did take a quick look in our lower lands, and we seem to have a small problem here. It looks like we're out of stuff. Now, what are these beaver bots out of? Looks like they're out of biofuel. We not have... I think we're making biofuel by potato. So, let's see if we can also make some biofuel. There we go. We'll make the biofuel by... Do we have carrots? We have lots of carrots, I believe. Yeah, we have tons of carrots. So let's make some by carrots as well. Well, if I choose carrots, there we go. It looks like we're... Oh, that's why. I switched to those, and then they died, and you know what? We're just going to do that and let them make all the biofuel so we can get our bots going again, because we need our lower lands. In fact, I think that's what we're just going to name the district. This is lower land. There we go. And another small problem I just ran into, I blocked off my own waterfall that I just built. So, should be an easy fix. We can come down there with the dynamite, take that out. Let's say that's fairly important so that we can see that water flow again. Come on, buddy. There we go. Now it should let us... Yeah, there we go. That's what we wanted to see. That red surge did basically nothing, which is perfectly fine. We don't want to have to worry about too much stuff here. Our waterfalls are in. Everything looks to be going just fine. Let me open that up so we can get a little bit more greenery here and there. But we've got this all ready that we can use for some farms. We've got this ready that we can use for tree farms. And we've still got water up above flowing to down below. And, oh yeah, we have the corner too. We didn't quite... That's odd. I don't know why that's flooding there, but it'll be fine. It'll sort itself out. Sometimes with waterfalls and sluices, these things happen. We didn't get this in here, but if the lower level, the lower lands here need more place for farming, I will eventually take this out here. But if they don't need it, you know what? It's just fine the way it is. Next time, we're going to put in a water amusement park over this area so that we can actually keep these well watered. We'll work on getting industrial in and getting our forest planted here, and hopefully work a little bit more on getting this lake covered up so that we can put a whole bunch of stuff over the top of the lake. But until then, just want to say thank you very much for stopping by, and hope to see you next time. Bye!